It's top of the hour, kids. How y'all doing? My name is Daryl Prale. For context, I am Canadian. I am between the UK, and in my imagination, they're over there, and in the US, over there. So my job here today is to be the peacekeeper, the arbiter, the moderator, the judge, the guy that keeps us on track and on time, and it is to help decide which team is the most accomplished, successful, intuitive, smart, brilliant, wise, capable sales team representing the women of their respective country today. But that is not how it's going to work. I do not make that decision. Folks, that's going to be up to you. We're going to give you the rules and the lowdown shortly. We're going to do all of this in 1 hour. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be rapid fire. If you were here for the men's version, then you know how stressful this is going to be. You know how fast it's going to go. You're going to hear me cut people off as they run out of time. That's all part of the anxiety, all part of the stress. We'll actually get to see how each team can answer in those conditions. It's not like normal when you ask them a question and they can ponder and they can hum and haw and they can, go on for 5 minutes and you politely listen. This time, that's out the window. This is all stress. Okay, before I introduce you to everybody in the team here and I tell you the rules and how the scoring works and then we get into it, we've had a little bit of an announcement happen that we wanted to take time out first to just share with you the news. One of the reasons I'm very excited about today's session is because we are featuring the leading women in sales, and this is a cause that is championed by many people for visibility and equality and everything else, and I love it. I love it. Myself and my company VanillaSoft have been a big advocate, paying lots of money to make sure these events go on. One of the champions behind that was a wonderful woman named Barbara Giamanco. On Sunday past, Barbara unexpectedly passed away. And many people here are shocked and were saddened. I want to tell you a little bit about Barb, and just so you understand the loss we've suffered. She headed up social-centered selling, and her mission was to ignite sales transformation. That was her words. She viewed that transformation as including a heavy emphasis on helping companies attract more women to their sales ranks, providing the path and support to advance women into sales leadership roles and to promote diversity and inclusion across all teams. That was Barb. She was the co-author of the new Handshake, Sales Meets Social Media. It was a first book actually written about social selling. She was an outspoken advocate for women in business, leadership, and sales. She hosted the popular Conversation with Women in Sales podcast. I understand, talking to Deb and a few others, that she viewed that as probably one of her most prolific, memorable achievements and impacts on the industry. That podcast was awarded the 2019 Gold Medal as the top podcast by Top Sales Awards. She not only was making an impact, a dramatic impact, but the industry was recognizing her contribution. Her blog was incredible. It was one to not be missed. As most recently as 2019, her blog ranked second overall, according to the folks at Top Sales Awards, with one of her specific posts ranking as the second most impactful that year. I love her current post. If you go to Google Barbara Giamanco, you'll see her website. Her current post is why it's okay to be a big ass failure. Now, I'm not sure Barbara would want to be remembered for the words big ass, but what I love about that is you get a sense for her energy and her style and her spirit. I love that about her. She was committed to excellence in selling. Now, you may not know this if you've not heard of her, and if you know her, this is not going to surprise you. She was recognized as a top 50 2019 keynote speaker, a top 50 sales and marketing influencer, a top B2B sales influencer by LinkedIn, and a top 25 sales leader on Twitter, and that's just recently. She was known as an energetic, engaging keynote speaker. She was an event MC. She was a panel moderator. She hosted events like the Tag Sales Leadership Awards, the Women in Technology breakfast events, conferences like Microsoft Envision or SalesLoft's Rainmaker, Possible Women, and a lot of corporate events for companies like CNN or Microsoft or Inside View or SAP or Sprint and Verizon, Information Builders, and others. Those are not small names. Did I mention she was passionate about the industries? That's one of the reasons, specifically. She was actually an advisory member to the Sales Experts channel. She led my own personal small team of speakers on that channel. So it was really heartfelt when I heard of her loss. She was a lot of fun. She was helpful. She was energetic. She was too young. Let's just get that out there. She still had a lot to give. She had a ton of new ideas for the Sales Expert channel. She had a ton of new ideas for her podcast. Her social posts were just going nuts. In fact, her most recent post was about 16, 17 hours ago. She scheduled several in advance. She was not done. She was a force, and she was taken before her time, and we are going to miss her. Today's debate amongst these two groups of women are intended to highlight just how amazing the women in sales are. That's what she did. That's what we're about. And because of that, we are going to dedicate today's event to her in her honor. Learn more about Barbara on her website, barbaragiamanco.com. So you can tell she had an incredible impact. I want to thank Barbara for everything she's done. She will be lost. So that's Barbara. With that, let me introduce the teams to you because they're pretty incredible. What we've done here, where we can, where technology allows us, is we prefaced, each individual's name with the preface of the country that they're on, UK or USA. So Team UK, let's walk through this, maybe give a wave or nod. I'm going to screw up half these names, but I'm Canadian, right? So just don't stop liking me. And then I'll apologize afterwards. Roya Berzegi, that's Team UK. Karen Dunn Squire, Allison Edgar, Doreen Purnell, Elaine Tyler, and Jules White. All you UK fans, this team here is representing your flag today. Now, coincidentally, outfitted in white across the board, almost like they planned this, is Team USA. Let me introduce you to Victoria Abeling, Deb Calvert, Joy Hewitt Carvajal, Sherry Levitin, Julie Mann, and Samantha McKenna. So those ladies, those 6 ladies are representing the red, white, and blue today. So there you have it. They're going to go at it. What was funny, if you were here before we went live, you would have heard them saying, how are we going to debate? We like each other. And that's all the more reason to do a debate, I think. So here are the rules. If you missed the men's version, then let me explain them to you. They're very straightforward. We have 7 categories. 7. Sounds like a lot. It's going to be bam, bam, bam. They're going to be selling in a pandemic, cold calling, social selling, email, objection handling, sales leadership, sales coaching. Those are the 7 categories. Each category has 2 questions. I will ask Team A the first question, and they'll have 90 seconds max to answer it. And then Team B will have 30 seconds to rebut. And then we flip the order, and I ask Team B the second question. They have 90 seconds max to answer it. And Team A has 30 seconds to rebut. I will cut them off when their time is done. I will talk over them. They will be done. At that point in time, I launch a poll, and this is the exciting part. I launch a poll, and I simply say, when it comes to this category, selling in a pandemic, you've heard 2 questions answered. You've heard 2 rebuttals to those questions. In your opinion, which team most dominated this category? You will vote. We will make that declaration based on the winning poll. That team gets 1 point. Boom, that's it. After the 7 categories, we move into the lightning round. I've instructed each panelist here to bring a pen and paper with them because we're going to go from a team-on-team format to a one-on-one format. And I'm going to ask questions. Many of these questions could be an answer. What color is this guy? Oh, it's blue. And the first one in to answer it gets that right. If they answer it wrong, then the other person has a chance to steal, and there is no time limit. They can hum and haw and say, I don't know, is it pink, is it yellow? Oh, maybe it's blue. So that's the first dynamic. Or many of these questions are numbers, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rank Daryl's beard? So they both write down their number, and then I say, okay, we did a survey previously. We know what the audience says. What's your answer? What's your answer? The closest one gets the point. They don't have to be right. That's the lightning round. Maximum you can get is 17 points. With the men, they actually had 1 category that was a draw. The poll came back 50-50. So I think their final score was, I want to say 12-4 or something. So they won it, even though it was an even number. And that, my friends, kids, 10 on the lightning round, 7 on the categories. Those are the points. Team USA, are you ready? Yes, no, this is where you would say yes.
Ready.
There we
Yes.
go.
Woo-hoo.
Okay. Team UK, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a stopwatch here. I am timing this.
Oh, yes.
Yay!
Right. So we are going to start this show. Here we go. The first category is selling in a pandemic. Team UK, I'm asking you the question first, just so you know, we will alternate asking order with each category. Team UK, this is your question. Let me read the question in its entirety, and then I'll tell you to go. How do you help your buyers turn adversity into opportunity without seeming opportunistic or basically like a douchebag? Team UK, that's your question. Go.
Okay, I'll take this one. Listen, this is a pandemic. We've never had this before. So this is unknown territory. The biggest thing, the most important thing is your customer, okay? We have to now humanize sales. This is all about us making sure we understand we're going through a grieving process, okay? So this isn't about making sure we're selling. It's about loving our customers. So now we're finding out, where is your customer now? We meet our customer where they are now. Also, who is your customer's customer? Because if there's no opportunities with their customers, then we are talking the wrong talk. We've got to empathize. We've got to understand. We've got to really look at what does our customer need right now. And we've got to come at it from not playing a numbers game, not attacking the market. This is not generic. We are all in different boats in the same storm. So let's crack on and find out what our customers really need from us. And then we can identify if there are opportunities. And if there are, then we know we're talking their language and we are using everything they tell us to understand what they need from us and what help they need. This is the buyer's journey. This is not the salesperson's journey. And we need to let them go on their journey, walk along their side, hold their hand, support them, and make sure that we give them what they need right now, okay? This is not about selling. It is about loving our customers.
And you're
okay?
out of time.
Do not dominate, collaborate.
She timed that. Look at that. She just had a clock in front of her, right on 1:30. All right. You've heard the answer from Team UK. Team USA, I'll repeat the question. You have 30 seconds to rebut their position. You can agree, you can disagree, you can offer a different point of view completely. I don't care. It's your call how you use your time. The question was, how do you help your buyers turn adversity into opportunity without seeming opportunistic? You have 30 seconds starting now.
Are you going to take this?
I'll take it. I'll jump in. Okay, so here's the thing, you guys. The question is about how you seem authentic, how you're empathetic during this time. Everybody right now is very distrustful. People are scared, and you have to build trust with them. You've got to lead with empathy. Everybody has a problem that their business is facing now. You need to try to solve the problem that they're all worried about in this moment now, and not try to think about, the normal way that you were selling
Time
things.
is up. There we go. That is the first question, and that's the format. That's how it works. You've gotten through it. Woo! Now to flip it around, selling in a pandemic, first category. Second question. This one's going to Team USA. You will have 90 seconds to answer it. Here's the question. How should sales target people during a pandemic? Go.
I'll take this one. We should be targeting people in the same way we've always been selling. Nothing has changed. People are still human. We should still be coming to people, targeting them in the same way we've always had, which is from the heart, through relationship, and not trying to sell them a product. It's not always about bringing value either, because people don't know what value you bring if they don't know who you are. So at the end of the day, we need to be selling the same way we always have. Nothing's really changed. Circumstances might feel like they're a little bit different, but ultimately, if we're selling properly in the way that we should be as women from the heart, nothing's changed.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I just want to add that we do have a business case we have to build today. Everybody's slashing their budget. So I love heart. I love selling from the heart. Lead with empathy, but there is a real competency that we need to have today. And a lot of salespeople aren't looking at business case. CFOs are slashing budgets. We have to do a good enough discovery and find out, how can we help you get more sales, be more productive, and cut costs? And that takes listening, doing a great discovery, and making that business case. Third, salespeople, you need to learn virtual selling right now. We can't just take what we did live and automate it. So we've got to take the time to learn all the skills of virtual selling. We've got to keep people engaged. People say, oh, attention
Time
span
is
is much lower online.
There's your 90 seconds.
Interest span.
There, she's pushing it. I love that. I respect that about Jerry. She goes for it. Okay, Team UK, you have 30 seconds to rebut. The question was, how should sales target people during a pandemic? Go.
Listen to the market, understand the market that you're in and what people are feeling and where they're at, and use video. Video is the best way to connect. It's a human way to connect. So reach out, outreach, use video and ask them, how are you? What do you need from us? What do you want us to help with you right now? But video will make you connect in a much, much better way, in the human way. It's about human selling right now, nothing more. Human selling, connection, and making sure that we know what our customers really want. That's targeting.
There you go. That's the rebuttal. Okay, we've had 2 questions, 2 rebuttals. This is the selling during a pandemic. This is the exciting part. This is where we pray that technology works. I am now going to launch a poll. Panelists, I am not letting you vote. I'm sorry. So everybody who answered this question better, get on there, answer it. I will call this once we get to roughly 30 seconds max, but when we have a clear winner and the voting has responded and it's tapered off, then I will do it. I have a wonderful timer here in front of me, so I can see that right now we've been at 19 seconds and 65% have voted. I'm wondering, anybody got any guesses on who won this? Are we wagering? Is there maybe a back channel going on here? We're approaching 30 seconds. Boom, that's 30 seconds. All right, are you ready to see the results? Are you ready? Are you ready? Who won selling during a pandemic?
Yes.
Team
Well done,
UK
Joe.
strikes first. It was close, 58% to 42%. Team UK gets that first point. Whew, that's good, eh? That's kind of exciting. Let's go. I'm loving it. All right,
Let's go USA. Next one.
and we're going to come over here and I'm going to mark that UK won this one. I'm going to make sure I capture that. We don't want to lose that. Okay, we're over on to sales leadership now. So here we are on sales leadership. We're going to ask Team USA the first question. Team USA, here is your question. You will have 90 seconds. It's a long question, so bear with me. How do we bring new external leaders into our businesses when we have not met them face to face and they are not given a chance to meet their team members or observe the operation? How do we bring new external leaders into our business? We have not met them face to face and they are not given a chance to meet their team members or observe the operation. Ready? Go.
All right, you guys, you've got to be creative about this. People are selling and coaching in so many different ways, and you should be able to represent yourself online as a new leader and make creative situations. Say we're going to do a team call and we're going to shadow exactly what the team is doing today so that new leaders can actually see and get context into the business. The number one important thing is that you're hiring the right people. And so you've got to go extra lengths now to make sure you're doing more creative things to test out if it's the right person. It can't be an excuse of, oh, we'll wait till this passes. You're losing money and revenue for your company the longer you wait. So start the conversations now. Introduce one-on-one scenarios with the right people. Have shadow sessions for people listening to calls, emailing, and LinkedIn, all virtually. We're capable of doing that. Have group forums and one-on-one discussions about hot topics on your team. There is a way that you can bring people in remotely and still make sure that you're bringing in the right people. And use other people in your business that you trust to give you added information and value. Do a lot more back channeling than you ever have before on did this person do a great job at their past company? Reach out to the people that you trust that have worked with them before and find out all the information that you can possibly give.
You have 10 seconds to spare.
Anyone else? No?
It's all about employee engagement. Find ways to connect.
There you have it. That is the Team USA answer. Team UK, you will now have 30 seconds to rebut. I'll repeat the question and then you can go. Question is, how do we bring new external leaders into our businesses when we have not met them face to face and they are not given a chance to meet their team members or observe the operation? Go.
Right, I think there's three really important points here. Number one, you need to make sure that you're creating a very slick recruitment process. That process needs to be just long enough that everyone in the business can meet this relevant candidate, but not too long so that the candidate doesn't stay engaged. You need to very clearly prepare your recruitment process. You need to make sure everyone involved in those Zoom calls is very well briefed on exactly who's conducting what, and you need to get references. Talk to people who've met this person in the flesh and find out what they're really like to do business with.
All right, that is the first question. Second question on sales leadership. Team UK, you will answer first. You will have 90 seconds. The question is this: what are the best practices for ensuring that sales enablement efforts truly enable sellers instead of disabling them? 90 seconds, go.
Wow, this is a great question. I think for sales enablement, one of the other ladies might have some comments to make.
Yeah, I'm happy to take that one for sales enablement. So really the main thing is to have a system in place. I think when you enable people, you need to think about as well questioning and seeing the quality outside of it. So what we want to do is not only ensuring that you know what you're enabling them, but ensuring that you can listen to calls, review emails, and as well have some role play in place to review on one-on-one with your team members. And it's all about communicating right now. It could be via video chat, just via a chat online. You need to ensure that you have the time to really sit down and review this. You can even do a trivia, right? And do a surprise trivia with your team members and be like, hey guys, let's just do that. Let's see if you understood what I said. And you can just ask us as well after a survey. What we do is you do a training, you send out a survey. Did you like it? It's anonymous. People are going to say the truth if they did like it or not. And then you'll be able to know exactly what happened and if they are enabled or if they are not enabled. So that would be the best thing to do as a leader and to conduct as well the sales enablement until the end of the funnel. Anything to add, guys?
You're out of time anyway, so there you go.
Great.
That was Doreen. Doreen
Right,
Jock
USA.
says, way to go. Loving your answer there. So that was Doreen
done.
answering. Now we have the rebuttal process. Okay, it's Team USA time. You're gonna have 30 seconds. Be short, be sweet. What are the best practices for ensuring that sales enablement efforts truly enable sellers instead of disabling them? Go.
Sales managers, don't become the sales prevention leaders. The only way to do that is to be smart in how you offer sales enablement. The best way to do that is to include sales ennoblement. Talk to people, hear, watch, learn, study what they're doing, and only insist they use the training and tools that truly make a difference in selling. Otherwise, you're disabling them inadvertently and costing sales.
And there's 4 pillars of an effective training
Done.
and coaching program.
Sorry, Sherry, you ran out of time. You're 30 seconds. But that was good. I could see you're anxious to get ready to jump in there. So there we go. So now it's tough, isn't it? Okay, so we're through category number 2. We're back to that polling time. Oh, this is the most stressful part. All right, category number 2. Let me get up the right poll here. It's on sales leadership. Here we're going to launch it. Which team best answered the category, the topic of sales leadership? Start your voting. While we're having that, panelists, how are you enjoying the experience so far?
Awesome.
Stressful.
Great job, Daryl.
It is stressful, isn't it? Oh my, the voting
You're crushing
neck
it.
and neck. You
It's
should see it. It's
yeah,
close.
It's like we can
Come on, USA.
While we're waiting, I had Otero. Otero, did I say your name right? Otero wanted to know if he could say he's looking for Sebastian. So Sebastian Otero wanted to know, hey, he's looking for a job. He's giving a shout out on there. Check him out. So there you have it. Check out Sebastian. We're going to call it. It's going to be 40 seconds right now. I caught it. Wow. Okay. This is going to, okay. I just want to say I'm sorry. Here we go.
Waiting for the sorry to drop.
Oh, yes.
Dang.
Wow.
Come on.
Superstar.
Wow.
Doreen,
Oh
Doreen.
my.
Yay.
That
So well done.
that is as close as you can get. The men had a draw, but 1 percentage point difference. Team UK gets that point. Team UK is now up 2-0. Is the US in a hole? Can they come back from this? Are we wagering? I don't know. This is so stressful. All right, let's go
We're
on
just
to.
getting started. Just getting started, y'all.
As we're just getting warmed
Long
up. I mean,
way
look
to
at this way.
go.
Team USA made jumps and bounds from the first category to the second category, only 1 point off. Maybe this is their category. Category
All
number
about-
3. It's on cold calling, everybody's favorite topic. Team UK, you get to answer first. This is your question. You have 90 seconds. For sellers who have to rely on cold calling or outbound selling, give us one technique or tip that we have not all heard before. Go.
I think that it's really difficult to try and find a tip that not everybody's heard of before. But I think the one that's quite often forgotten and not necessarily brought to the forefront when we're all thinking about how we're going to go about handling our objections or how we're going to structure our introduction is really making sure that we're actually using techniques that allow the buyer to view, allow you and the buyer to hold the same perspective and point of view. So, for example, trying to distill the decision that they're making about whether to engage with you around normal day-to-day activities. So, for example, when you're talking to a buyer and they start discussing things like price, which is something that buyers often want to do in the first conversation and call that they have with a seller, if you try and take that back to a normal day activity that they do personally, then you will find that you get greater traction with them when you remove it from a business context. So, for example, your seller is saying, it sounds very expensive to me, I'm gonna drop out there based on the price. Whereas if you can take them to the point where you allow them to think about their day-to-day decisions and where they place value. So, for example, when you're making a decision about what car to drive, do you call up the dealership and ask them which one's the cheapest on the forecourt, or do you get in the seat of that car, feel what it feels like to get behind the wheel? Then that gives you the opportunity to move it from a business context to an everyday decision that might help you get more traction.
And you're out of time. Good timing on that one. My goodness. I love Kevin Wash's comment. Cold calling. If that's your only lead source, my tip is get another job. Okay. Team USA, this is your chance to rebut. You're going to have 30 seconds. Here's the question again.
Hey, this is Victoria. So can you guys hear me?
We can.
Listen, only 2% of cold calls result in appointment, and that's only because 50% of all sellers don't try again. It actually takes 18 times to get a seller or a buyer on the phone, and that's up from 5 back in 2007. So it's about persistence and making sure that you have a new approach when you call these people. This isn't about a new technology. It's about doing it right and doing it with persistence and grit.
You have 4 seconds. And you're out of time. Good job. Nice answer. Victoria was so excited to do the one. She just took control. Didn't even wait for the question. Damn it, I'm answering it. I love it. Okay. That's what we call taking control of the situation. Clearly, she's done a phone call or two. Okay. On a topic of cold calling, it is now Team USA's chance to answer your question, of which, again, you have 90 seconds. Here it is. Team USA, what are the biggest cold calling mistakes that reps are making continually, and why? Go.
So like I mentioned earlier, they don't do more than just those 2 attempts, right? And if you think about what's happening right now, we've all heard that cold calling is dead. Sales floors are quiet. In fact, there's new tools to make reps be more efficient and without picking up the phone. And if you can book a meeting without email, why would they pick up the phone? So what we have to do is prep with research and actually use tools that'll help us. Even though there is data that says that cold calling is dead, I disagree. I actually think that it's up, and there's a lot of data behind that. In fact, 69% of sellers, buyers will actually pick up the phone if you make the conversation about them, if you're very strategic with your messaging, And if you do something called pattern interrupt, and what pattern interrupt is to make them change their mind about why you're calling. One thing I like to tell my team is that when you call someone, be confident. Tell them your name. This is Victoria Abling. I'm calling from SailPoint Technologies. Do you want to know why I'm calling? The reason for my call is. And what happens is that you start, it actually results in a conversation that people want to hear. And the whole point of this is to sell the meeting. We're not selling the discovery. We're not trying to get them to buy on the phone. We're trying to get them to get to that next meeting so you can have further conversation.
I love, good answer. I love watching Sherry nodding her head the whole time during the answer. That was really good. She was bought in on that one. Okay, Team UK, you have 30 seconds to respond. The question for you is, what are the biggest cold calling mistakes that reps are continually making, and why?
Okay, two things not mentioned there. Number one, mindset. If reps are stepping into the call with the wrong mindset, then the call is done before they've even spoken to anybody. Number two, not listening to their prospects. So simply following their script, being far too guided, not listening to what it is that their prospect's actually saying. Number three, talking way too much. And I'm sure we've heard that across every call that we've coached. Pitching at too low a level. So spending far too much time speaking to people with who don't actually have any decision-making power, and therefore not the time to actually spend with sales reps.
And you got a big thumbs up and lots of applause from Allison and Jules. So this is good. Your team, Karen's all smiles. They're loving everything you're putting down there, Elaine. Well done. Guess what? We're there again. That's the third category. Does it feel like it's getting faster and faster and faster on you? It's time for that. Vote again, folks. Let me bring up the poll here. Let's hope the technology keeps on working. Poll number 3, it was on cold calling. Which team best answered the topic of cold calling? Was it Team UK? Was it Team USA? And launched that puppy. The poll is now live.
I know we're taking the poll, but interesting stats by Gong that does say that if you talk more on a cold call, you will see better results.
Yeah, it almost seems counterintuitive, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. You just got to talk more about the other people, not yourself.
So you're saying all this time I've been a trendsetter. Is that what I'm hearing you say? Oh, wait, you said not by myself. Okay, that's different. Okay, we are at 30 seconds. Let's stop this poll. Here we go. All right, let's see who won. Anybody want to guess? Should I just drag this out a little bit more? Is the anxiety? I mean, think about this. If the U.S. doesn't get this, they're down 3-0. That's a big hole. Oof. But if the UK doesn't get it, then it's the 2-1. It's a close one. Have I stressed you enough? Here we go.
Oh. Woo!
Team USA is on the board. Yeah. Look at that. I have to go over here and
all about mental improvement.
That is awesome. We did say that might happen. So let's come back here. Let's stop that share. All right, I'm going to kill the poll. We're doing well here. The score, if you haven't been keeping score or if you're joining us late, the score is currently 2-1. And we're now in our 4th category. This is the category around email. Team USA, you get to answer first. As it relates to email, this is your question. What are the best ways to personalize emails without compromising authenticity? Go.
All right, so we know that 23% on average of emails are open, right? And that's a stat directly from Topo. So what do we do to be different and to stand out? The way that you personalize an email is by showing the person that you know them. I'll take my tagline, show me you know me. That's super, super critical. And use that in your subject line first. And then your first sentence has to be something that is actually meaningful to the person or at least polished. So enough of the terrible subject lines that say, you know, your first name or something about a tech stack or IT cloud computing. You have to make it relevant to that person. And that first sentence doesn't have to make sense to anyone except for the person receiving it. Without sacrificing authenticity, actually make it relevant to that person and to the research that you've done online. So if you go to LinkedIn and you find that the person's on podcasts a lot, don't send an email that says, I love your podcast, and then move on. Tell them something about it. Relate it back to yourself, right? Relate it back to something that you learned about that podcast. Form an opportunity to build a relationship in that first email, because if you don't, you're going to be just like everybody else, which is generic, and you're never going to get those opened emails, right? And then you're going to be part of the 70-ish% that doesn't ever get their emails open. That's all.
And I would say, video. Jules said it before, video is one of the best way to prospect. You'll 10x your open rate. So everybody's got to start using video.
Yeah, pattern interrupt all day long. We need to be changing the game, switching how you
I have a secret. I may tell you guys at the end.
You're done. You're out of time. That's your minute and a half. 90 seconds is done. Love that. Many contributions from Team USA in that one. Sam, you've got some fans online. They're loving your Show Me You Know Me. Everybody's saying, yes, Sam. So there you go. Well done. Love the enthusiasm. Okay, that was the question. They had 90 seconds to answer that question. They had lots of contributions. Team UK, how will you respond? The question you have 30 seconds to respond to is, what are the best ways to personalize emails without compromising authenticity? Go.
I can take that. So I would say audience, knowing your audience, the persona they're targeting. Obviously, you can't come with something that is not relevant to the person they're reaching out. It has to be personal, meaningful. It has to add something to that conversation, as well as you have to have a closing in that email where you say what you want, really. And without that, the email would just disappear in the email, in all of the emails they receive.
That's your 30 seconds. Okay, that's the first question on email. We had a question, we had an answer, life is good. Next one up under email is going to be addressed to Team UK. You have 90 seconds. Your question is this: what is your best advice for writing subject lines that will get prospects to read your email? Go.
So first of all, I would say that subject line doesn't always have to have a meaning. It all depends on the timing. So for instance, now when in pandemic, the timing is very, like, we probably need to think about the subject much more. Whereas before, most of the people don't even look at the subject. So it's all about what is actual context that is related to in that email that you want to refer to. You have to refer to that interview. You have to refer to that news that you related to, that you want to kind of like connect with your prospect. And you have to link that to how you kind of like discover this, and that's the like for getting a meaningful subject line. That is key, definitely. Anything addition to that?
Sorry, Roya, sorry. I was going to say create curiosity and desire is just something I thought of then.
100%. Always try to use I's and we's in that title. I've created this for you. We should look at this together.
Personalize it.
So there's a connection to it. That's a fantastic way of doing it.
I think as well to add some controversy. So again, sometimes something that's slightly opposite to the other things that are going on. So I think a controversial will get them to click, and then again, bringing in the fact that it's always about them really relating back to how you know them, where you met them, and what is in it for them.
Time is up.
The timing.
Time is up. There we go. I love that Karen said I's and we's, and we had Benedict say that the interesting I was intrigue. So just playing some fun with that one. Curiosity and desire. Great comments from the chat room. Keep on adding those contributions there. That was Team UK's 90-second answer to the question: what is your best advice for writing subject lines that will get prospects to read your email? Team USA, respond now.
So the most important thing in your subject line, again, is to be different. You don't want to be like everybody else. So here's my formula of what you use. Show me you know me, +, show me you know me, +, something about your company. Do your homework in that subject line. The next sentence is the most critical part after that, right? We have yet to be properly introduced, but I'm Sam McKenna. When you tie those two things together, a fantastic subject line plus a first sentence, you're going to be in great shape to get it open because you're going to be different, right?
Time is
so
up. Right
again,
there.
I thought that was my timer.
No, I know. Yeah, there's a beat going on. That's not from me. I apologize. That's just, I will shut you down with my text. Okay, but you did, it was really close. It was at 29-second mark. So there you go. Sam, again, you continue to have lots of fans out there. Sam is so knowledgeable about email. Look at that. Are these paid? I'm just kind of curious. Okay, so that is the fourth category on email. Both teams have answered the question. Both teams have responded. It's back to that time around polling again. Now, of course, this is very interesting because depending on how this goes, this could be a tie match. I don't know. Let's figure it out. No stress here. Which team best answered the topic of email? Let's launch that poll. It is live. UK, are you stressed? Is the UK getting the rhythm back, or are you confident?
No, you got this.
You got this. I love it.
Let's tie it up, ladies. Let's go.
I think Deb Calvert needs a bigger mug. I just happened to witness that.
But I got this.
You get the flag and you get the world's biggest cup. Look at that. That's crazy. Okay. So we're going to cut this off when it gets to the 30-second mark. We're 5 seconds away. Everybody's chanting online. Oh, look at this. USA. The crowd's getting vocal here. We're going to stop the poll. And I will not do to you what I did to you last time, which is drag it out. I'll show you the answer. Here you go. Ladies.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
We
I
have
think the folks on the West Coast just woke up and joined us.
That's gotta be it. We got
Just
us
in
a
time,
game.
Welcome to the party. Glad
It is tied 2-2 after 4 categories. Is this stressful or what? All right. We're on to the
We're not
fifth.
stressed. Girl.
Not
Just sit
stressful
down.
at all? I'm stressed. Social selling is our next category. Team UK, you will have the first question in 90 seconds. Here it is. On the topic of social selling, and remember for Team UK, Dan Disney on the Brits' behalf nailed this. No pressure. There are a lot of bad examples out there about what individual sellers should not do on social media. Give us examples of what we should do on social media. Here's the caveat, which will specifically increase our sales. Go.
So for social selling, some of the big caveats are don't sell too soon. So if you flip that back round, build the relationship. So to fill into what Jules was saying, it's all about getting to know someone. If you look at the behavior, so again, if you take it back to the psychology, usually you can tell just from their photo and their bio how to engage. Do they need an upbeat hi, or do they need a really detailed, really to the point, dear John kind of email? So I think it's to do with that structure. We've all had that, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. It's not any different from sales. You put in a decent hook. Oh, I've been looking at your profile. I love your podcast, episode 26, when you talk about this. You know, what's happening in your business at the moment? So really starting to engage. Another top tip is who viewed your profile? So actually, it's like being in a room of strangers and somebody's looked. Follow up with them, connect. Thanks very much. Were you looking for something specific or to widen your network? For me, I've done that. And somebody said, I'm looking for someone to run the first event in the Middle East of its kind. Then take it off social and get it on the phone or get it on face-to-face and follow process like you normally would. Grow your brand. Pink, you know, everything I do has got a trend. You should be known without even opening your words. Have it in there. Incredible.
Look at Allison was on fire. And what I loved about that was her whole team was like staring at her and nodding her head, and they're all smiles. And Team USA looked a little concerned. I'm just saying. All right, on social selling, Team USA, this is your 30-second response. Remember, the question is, give us examples of what we should do on social media, which will specifically increase our sales. Go.
Yep. So let's really answer the question because I don't think it was answered. There's 2 things to increase sales, one long-term and one short-term. Long-term, build a list of the top 50 prospects you care about and engage with them every few days. Understand what they're about, like their messages, comment. The short-term play is use a Boolean search. Find the keywords that show that somebody themselves is identifying that they run some program, they care about something specific, and use that for your prospecting efforts. Use their own words, find a targeted list.
Time is up. Wow.
Shots
Julie
fired. Well done.
He was on fire. She wanted that one, and everybody was responding. They're calling it. Julie was on fire. I'm seeing that in the chat window. Okay. Second question under social selling, Team USA. You will answer this with 90 seconds. Here is your question. With digital noise now being in excess of 70% higher than pre-COVID times, how do you stand out from the noise and use the platform successfully? Go.
Sam, you got this.
This is Team UK. Oh, dang it. Sorry. Yes, it's me. Okay. So how do you stand up from the noise? This is the thing that you want to think about with social selling. This is another medium for you guys to constantly remind your buyers that you exist, that you are a person, that you have a product, that you've engaged with them before. This is an opportunity to pull yet another lever. So how do you stand out from the noise? You do this really well on social, and you do this really well by commenting, posting, using their own language, like was mentioned earlier. What's great about this is that you're doing this differently than other people. So let me give you a great targeted example. If I have a prospect that I'm chasing, I'm going to go on their LinkedIn profile and I'm going to see if they posted something so that I can post and they'll get a notification. What if they don't post anything? I'm going to look and see what they have commented on so that they then get the notification that I'm doing something. I'm also going to look and use something like Sales Navigator. Given that I worked for LinkedIn, I'm kind of an expert in this field, but I'm going to use Navigator and I'm going to pull leads and job changes and all sorts of information and key insights on what's going on with that person and their account as a way to engage. I'm also going to relate it to other content that's out there and send them thought leadership. And that might be directly posting their name in a comment on something that's been posted with an article, or posting that article and then commenting in my own comments and saying, you know, Bill Johnson thought that this would be impressive to you. All kinds of ways that you can continue to remind people using social that you exist and that they should think about you when they have a need that you can solve.
It's all about quality. Play the quality game, not the quantity game in this time, and make sure that the things you say add value.
Time is up. All right. So Team UK, you will have 30 seconds to respond. With digital noise now being in excess of 70% higher than pre-COVID times, how do you stand out from the noise and use the platform successfully? Go.
It's all about video. So again, Sam's points were great there, but actually that's more about engagement rather than standing out from the noise. So DMing using video, most people aren't doing that. So once you have got your prospect, why are we not sending them a video DM? Consistent messaging. Again, you stand up not just once a day, not just once a week. You're standing up about 3 or 4 times. Even if it's the same message, you're doing it with different headings. So again, make the start. Whew.
All right. Whew.
Boom.
That was exhausting. All right, so if I'm looking at my list here, that was social selling. That was both questions. How do you stand up from the noise? Everybody's answered. We're back to that poll now. This is poll number 5, category number 5. You know what this is, folks, don't you? This poll right now is a tiebreaker to see who's going to take the lead. Ooh. That's kind of stressful, right? So we're going to launch that. Here we go. Which team had the best answer on social selling overall? Now, think about this. If the US wins, they will have gotten 3 in a row. Is that a complete momentum shift? Or if the UK gets this one, is that all of a sudden a response back saying, not in our house? I don't know.
No, we're just lulling them into a false sense of security.
I love it.
Cheryl, you know?
I love it.
Sort of like we did at the beginning for you, Jules.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Touche.
Okay, I cut this off at 30 seconds on the dot. There's a reason I cut it off on the dot. This is the reason.
Oh, dang! Missed it.
Close again. Oh, no.
It's been so close.
Recount.
Amazing.
Recount, yeah. Jules and Sam nailed that one. I don't know.
It was a close vote, right? It was 51-40. A difference of 3 votes was the difference. So that's
close.
Crazy. The men were not this close. So
I think I have like 12 sitting in one room. Doesn't that count for like 12 votes?
You would think it should. I agree with you. Okay, category number 6. Here we go. We're on to establishing value. And I love this category because everybody talks about you got to establish value. So unlike cold call or email or social, which are all tactics, this is more of let's call it a technique. Here we go. Team USA, the first question is yours. The question's this. Everybody says a rep needs to add value. Therefore, how do you determine what the client, what the prospect sees as valuable? Go.
You ask. Value is personal to every single person on the planet. It isn't the same the last time you talk to them as it might be this time. You've got to ask great discovery questions. You have to create an experience that is, in that moment, valuable And questions can even do that. So your question creates value. You find out what's really value, top of mind, most urgent and important right now, and you respond to that. And as you're doing all of that, you're creating a great experience. Don't forget Kolsky's research that says 87% of people will pay more for a great experience. It's up to the seller, the individual, to make that happen for every buyer.
And Gartner just came out with a study that there's 3 types of buying behaviors today. There's the giver of information, and the first 2 aren't very effective. Only the third one is. Too many salespeople give information. The customers already have information. 67% of buyers do their research online. The second type of seller tells the customer what value should be to them based on their experience. The third type of seller is a sense maker. Giving value today means making sense of all of the information that the customer already has. We all know we have to give them insights that they can't get online. We have to help buyers know how to make a decision. Research shows today that it's not that customers don't necessarily trust the sellers. They don't trust their own decision-making process. To be a trusted advisor today, you have to help them through that process.
All right, so that was Team USA answering the question. Team UK, you have 30 seconds. The question is, everybody says a rep needs to add value. Therefore, how do you determine what the client sees as valuable? Go.
You have to step into the world of the buyer, but I don't mean dip your toe, I mean immerse yourself. Their world is different. We are all beautifully unique. And that conversation has to be one where you build trust, because quite honestly, we can't make buyers look like they're stupid. We have to not assume they don't know what they want. We've got to make sure we understand what they want and then guide them and hold their hand and walk alongside them. Let's lose this domination and create collaboration. Just like I said before in the pandemic.
Time is up. Good response. All right. Second part of this category under establishing value, Team UK, you will answer first. Here is your 90-second question. Buyers want to talk about price. Sellers, well, they want to talk about value. How do you respond when a buyer asks a premature price question? Team UK, go.
Okay, you've got to build value right from the start. If they're asking you a price question, you haven't had a conversation, okay? So this conversation has to start from the point of value. If we don't understand what that value looks like to the customer, as Deb just said, how can we even position what that price even means? I did surveys and I do them all the time. 3 most important things when you buy. Put them in the order. Is it price? Is it value? Is it who you buy for? 95% of people say value. Second, people say who they're buying from. This is not about price. This is about us ensuring that we understand what value looks like. When they're asking price, we haven't done our jobs as sellers. Karen, what do you reckon?
I completely agree. Building a value perception is about thinking about the sacrifices that the customer is going to have to make this purchase. Sacrifices in terms of time, money, energy, resource. We need to counterbalance those sacrifices with as many value benefits as we possibly can to create a really quality value perception. When the benefits that a customer is going to get outweigh the sacrifices that they need to invest, then we know that the customer is going to see the value in purchasing. If value perception wasn't something we could build and create in the mind of an individual,
don't lose us now, Karen.
Want their needs met. They don't want the
Time is
cheapest
up.
solution.
Time is up. That's the 90 seconds. Now, just for context, the group here is saying, well said, Jules. Jules is a superstar. Way to go, Jules. So Jules has got her family and friends are out. And and the whole idea of value perception, they're eating up. So there we go. Team USA, you have 30 seconds to respond. Again, the question is, buyers want to talk about price, but sellers want to talk about value. So how do you respond when a buyer asks a premature question around pricing? Go.
So that question's really never premature if you've already provided value, right? So the idea here is that when you're in negotiation, when you're talking about the value your company brings, this becomes their deal, right? Steve Thompson, the author of Value Lifecycle, he really explains very well on how to bring the customer in with what they think is the most important. You cannot sacrifice price when their priorities are around how much money they will either make with our product or how much you will sell, right? So the whole point.
Time is up. There we go. All right, so that was under establishing value. We've gone through both questions already. That's category number 6. It's time for the vote. The whole topic was around establishing value. Victoria looks a little nervous to me. I'm just making a point here. Is she feeling the nerves, you think? I don't know. Allison's, but with the wave going and the flag with Sherry. Oh my, this is so exciting. Let's go see what happens on poll number 6 on round establishing value.
Nice dancing.
Okay, kids, who was the better answer when it comes to this? Team USA or Team UK? Oh my goodness, the numbers are flying up on this one. I think the crowd is feeling the anxiety that they need to answer quick because we're running out of time. Just if you haven't recalled, the score is currently 3-2 for Team Team UK, and they have like 2 of those points they got by the skin of their teeth. So here we go. We're 30 seconds is right now, and we're ending it. And here we go. Is it going to be a tie match again? It's not.
Come on.
What?
Oh my. Look at UK. They are back with a 2-point lead. Now the USA has crawled back from this before, but I can tell you at this point in time, the UK will win the category round because they already have 4 out of a possible 7. So, but remember, there's 10 more points to be had in the lightning round. So this is far from over. Here we go. We're going to go over to coaching now. This is the last category in the initial half of this contest. Team UK, you answer first. Here is your question. What is the difference between coaching, mentoring, managing, and training, and why is it important to make these distinctions? Coaching, mentoring, managing, and training. Go.
Yeah, I'll take that one. This is 4 different words. So I will go first with mentoring. Mentoring is a relationship you have with someone that you look up to, someone that you think you will learn from. Is a one-on-one relationship. The mentee and the mentor needs to agree on this relationship. Both sides really need to agree on sharing knowledge and being there for each other. When you have the coaching could be as a team, could be a one-on-one situation, and it has to be every day. You need to coach your team every day. It's not once a month. It's not like something you do on a weekly basis. Coaching needs to be instant. When you have feedback to give on a coaching sentence, it's right away. And you need to do it, of course, in a very wet way when you give this feedback. Management could be very different. When you manage a team, you do it from the heart. You need to really do it as an equal person and really understand how you have all of your team members on the same path, and as well making sure you have equality for everyone. So when you take all of this all together, you ensure to have as well the training, because without training, you won't go that far, especially with new hires. Training needs to be as well very well managed and organized. You can have weekly reminders training. Your team needs to know in advance so they come up with questions. Training needs to be something that you sync with your leadership team and you ask your team what they need from you. You do not throw training at people.
Time is
you
up.
ask them.
That is your 90 seconds. You were getting applause. Like Jules, Allison, they're all like high-fiving Doreen. She's feeling confident. I can feel it. Okay, with that answer, Team USA, you have 30 seconds. Again, the question is, what's the difference between coaching, mentoring, managing, and training, and why is it important to make these distinctions? Go.
Managers are asked to wear all 4 of those hats when they're sales managers. And there is a big difference. It's extremely important to know the difference. To manage means to handle. That's the root word. Managers tell people what to do. Coaches, that word actually means to extract, to pull out of you. Managers tell, coaches facilitate self-discovery. Mentors show you how to do it. Sales managers have to do all of that in a way that makes sense for the individual and reaches every single seller.
Time is up. That's a great answer. That's a response. Lots of fans. Doreen, I mean, you're good. I think you've got paid people here too on the chat window. Nicely done. Well done, Deb. Thank you. Now, Team USA, you get to go first. This is the last question in the last category, the first half of this process. Team USA, as it relates to coaching, here's your question. How can you ensure your team is implementing what they've been taught in coaching sessions when they're working remotely? go.
So it's all about making sure that you are checking in on people. There's got to be checkpoints where you test that the knowledge that you taught was actually brought in. And then the most important thing of learning something new is being able to teach that back to others. That's how we learn. We don't learn by just somebody telling us stuff. We learn by somebody telling us stuff, us practicing it in a rigorous way, and then by teaching other people how to do that. And that's the full circle of learning that has to be checked, even remotely. And you can do that on a Zoom call. Who else? Jump in.
Adult learning theory shows people retain 10% of what they hear, 50% of what they see and hear, and 90% of what they say and do. The biggest mistake managers and coaches make is they give their people the answers rather than them having to give to them. So we need to role play it. They need to do it. They need to bring it into a real life example. Today, people don't want to listen to the conversation. They want to be part of the conversation. We also know that learning occurs at an accelerated rate when there's struggle. Let your people struggle. Don't try to always save them. Have them struggle and have them write it down. The more senses you use, the more you will learn something. So even though they're remote, have them write it, have them teach it, have them sing it. Do whatever they need to do using all of the senses so that it becomes part of their memory so they can use it when they need it. Knowledge is not the same thing as
time is up. I just want to point out here, we've got good answer, Sherry. Classic, Sherry. Thumbs up, Sherry, for the win. Let's go, Sherry. Team Sherry. Nice answer, USA. I need this recording. Great stuff, Sherry. Sherry, wow, Sherry, well done. Team UK, 30 seconds to respond. You ready to do this? Again, how can you ensure your team is implementing what they have been taught in coaching sessions when they are working remotely? Go.
Yeah, I'll take that one. I think it's all about the culture that you install. It needs to have trust. We are working remotely. You need to trust your people to do the right thing, first of all, and to tell you when they don't know and when they are not sure. That's culturally. Then you need to test and do it randomly. Test a call, listen to anything they do, listen to their LinkedIn voicemail, see with them, trust their talent and as well their opinion to be able to tell you, I need more. Because I won't be beyond you. I'm not a micromanager. I'm not going to do that, but
time is up.
I'm sure I'm going to be there.
Time is up. There we go. Sorry, Allison, I saw your hand up there. 30 seconds. That's the way she goes. But you're going to get a chance, Shirley, in the lightning round. Doreen, you've got a big fan here. They're loving what you're putting down there. Okay. So time to vote. Audience, this is your last chance, audience, to vote. After this, it's one-on-one, and I just make the call. So let's make it worthwhile. Right now, it's 4-2 for Team UK. This was all around coaching. You've heard both teams. Let's get that poll ready. You, audience, this is your chance to make a dramatic difference. Which team best answered the topic of coaching? The poll is live now. I'm just kind of curious. It's Team USA feeling nervous, Team UK feeling confident, or will this be 4-3? Oh, so stressful. Look how quiet they are. They're like waiting for the answer. They don't want to talk. That's awesome. We're halfway. 20-second mark. I have the joy of watching these numbers ramp up, so it's kind of interesting. I'm going to cut it right at 30 seconds to be fair. 29, 30, stopped it. Okay. Is it going to be 5-2? Is it going to be 4-3?
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, USA.
Wow. Wow. Wow, this is close. I gotta admit, this is close. I did not see this being this close, but in the same breath, I guess I kind of did too, because I know you ladies are all powerhouses in your own right. Okay. Now, we're at the top of the hour, shortly past, so this goes very fast, folks. We have to leave. Stick around for 5 or 10 more minutes, and we will be done, max. This truly is the lightning round. Ladies, I'm reminding you this is one-on-one. I will tell you who is competing against whom. You need to have your paper and your pen ready so you can prove to me your answer. All right, so first up on the docket, if I get these names wrong, because I wrote them when I was very, very tired, I apologize. We have Roya versus Victoria. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. Tell me when you're ready. You get
Well, I don't know if you, okay.
Yeah, that's fine. And candidly, I'm going to trust you if you tell me what the number is. Okay. If you don't show it to me and then you just kind of say what it is, well, that's a whole different thing. So Roya versus Victoria, it's this first one is a number, so there's no rush to answer. Just put your answers down. According to HubSpot, what percentage of buyers want to talk about pricing on the very first call? Didn't we talk about this? Pricing, establishing value, premature. According to HubSpot, what percentage of buyers want to talk about pricing on the very first call? Roya, Victoria, are your answers down?
Yeah.
All right. Roya, what's your number?
64%.
64%. Interesting. Victoria, what's your number?
90%.
According to HubSpot, the answer is 58%. So Roya, UK gets that one. Awesome. All right, next up, it's Karen versus Deb. Karen versus Deb.
Got this, Deb. You got this.
You're ready? You ready?
Come on, Deb.
Your question is, what percentage of salespeople give up after a single no from a prospect? What percentage give up after a single no from a prospect? Do we have our answers? Karen's written it down. I see Deb is ready. Karen, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Deb, what number did you put down?
I said 33%.
Look at the paper. That's fancy. Karen, what did you say?
I'm much higher. I reckoned 80.
Well, the actual answer in this one is 44%. So Deb is closer. Team USA gets the point.
Team USA.
Okay. Next up, it's Allison versus Joy. Are you ladies ready?
Joy.
Oh, yes.
Bring it on.
Here we go. According to Baylor University, how many calls does it take the average salesperson to generate one appointment? How many calls to generate one appointment? Average salesperson. All right. Do we have our answers? Joy, you done? You feeling good? She's got look at the swagger in the eyes. It's like, yeah, I got this. Allison, you feeling good?
I'm actually confused about the question. Is that to the same prospect or?
Yeah.
No, it's a great, no, just overall. They're working the phones. How many calls do they have to make on average before they make one appointment?
Okay, me?
Sure, Allison. What's
31.
your number? You said 51.
No, I said 31.
31. Okay. Joy, what's your answer?
10.
10. Wow. Okay. I gotta give the win here to the UK because the answer is 209. Wow. That's Baylor University research, folks. All right.
Spelling right.
So we went into this round with it being 4-3. Just remember, if you recall that. And right now it's 2-0 on this one. So right now my math says, I'm sorry, 2-1. So right now my math says it's 6-4. So with that, there we go. Next question is Doreen versus Sherry. Doreen versus Sherry. Are we all ready? Here's your question. According to Topo, the analyst firm Topo, what percentage of sales emails are opened, and hence why a killer subject line is so essential? According to Topo, what percentage of sales emails are opened? You can use a decimal on this if you're so inclined. Doreen's ready. Look at her. She's like, yeah, I want to turn my paper. I'm good. Sherry, look like she's ready. You ready there, Sherry? Yep. Okay, Sherry, what's your answer? 23. I don't have an answer for that. And Doreen, what's your answer?
26.
26.
Ooh.
I got to tell you, folks, this one is close. Wow, closest one yet. According to Topo, the actual answer, I'll give you a hint, it ends in 0.9. You ready? 23.9. USA for the point. All right. Next one up is Elaine versus Julie. Elaine versus Julie. Here we go, ladies. Data from HubSpot suggests that LinkedIn is what percentage more effective for lead generation than its competitors, Facebook and Twitter? How much more effective is it? 50%, 25%, 100%, 1,000,000%? How much more effective is it? Elaine versus Julie. I see Julie pondering. Elaine looks ready. Julie, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, I want to ask Elaine first this time. Elaine, what's your answer?
65.
65% more effective. And then Julie, what's your answer?
I'm going to go 48.
48. Wow, this is fun. The answer, it's 277% more effective. Team UK gets the point.
Wow.
Wow. So, am I looking at this? It's 3 to 2 so far in this lightning round. My goodness. Next up is Jules versus Samantha.
Whoa.
Jules versus Samantha.
Let's go, Jules.
Let's
Okay.
go, Sam.
Sam. This girl.
How
Here's
appropriate.
the question. Research from Forrester has uncovered that 98% of B2B enterprises see the value in social selling. So 98% say, yeah, there's value there. What percentage of those same businesses have actually developed a robust social selling program? Okay. Samantha, that marker's just flying. She's looking good. Jules, we'll let you go first. What's your answer? What percentage of them?
40%.
40%. Interesting number. Samantha, what's your percentage?
49.
Oh, Sam.
The answer.
I love you, Jules.
I love you too.
The answer is 49%.
Oh!
Wow. I'm looking at 3-3 right now after 6 questions. There are now 4 questions left with the UK with a 1-point lead. This is stressful. All right. Because there's only 10 questions in the lightning round, not everybody will get 2 questions. I did the luck of the draw. Here's what we got. Next up for the 7th question, it is Roya versus Deb. Okay, Roya versus Deb.
Go, Deb.
What percentage of salespeople say that the prospecting part of the sales process is the most difficult, closely followed by closing and qualifying, but prospecting? What percentage of people say prospecting is the hardest part of the process? Roya looks done. She's got a smug on her face. I'm feeling confidence, but Deb looks equally confident. Okay, Deb, what is your answer? What percentage find it the hardest part? 40%. Roya, what's your answer?
50.
50%. The exact answer is 40%.
Yes.
Team
Yes,
USA.
Woo-hoo!
Nailing it twice and taking the lead now in the lightning round, thereby tying up the entire process. And we have 3 questions left. Is your heart beating? This is crazy. Okay. Question number 8 in the lightning round. This will be Karen versus Joy. Karen
Come on,
versus
Karen.
Joy.
Joy.
Let's go, Joy.
Okay, here we go. Here's your question. In an experiment, Drift tested the response time of 433 companies. What percentage of those companies responded within the first 5 minutes of a form submission? Karen looks ready. Joy, you feeling good? You don't look as confident in this one this time, Joy. Karen, we'll let you go first. What percentage responded within the first 5 minutes?
I'm saying 10%, Daryl.
10%. Joy,
Yeah.
that leaves a whole big amount. Maybe it's a high number, but maybe it's a low number. What's your answer, Joy?
7%.
7%.
There you go. You can see it.
The actual answer is 7%. USA
Joy.
takes the lead.
These girls have made no stats.
Wow. And that's 3
Wow.
100% correct answers the US has got. That's crazy. Okay, UK, you need this to tie. And I'll tell you this is the 9th question, the lightning round. If the US gets this right, the US will have won the match. Okay, no stress. The two combatants for this one will be Allison versus Sherry.
No.
So Allison, you're doing this to draw even. Sherry, you're doing this for the win. Okay.
Come on, Sherry.
Come on, Sherry.
Got
When
this,
it
Sherry.
when it comes to pitching and nurturing prospects, research shows that 63% of prospects remember stories after a presentation. What percentage of prospects remember statistics? And it's interesting because Sherry, of all people, it's funny that she's answering this question right now. I heard her drop a lot of stats during the category rounds. I knew this question was coming, so my ear was paying attention. So 63% remember stories. What percentage of prospects remember statistics? You ladies ready?
Ready.
I saw a heavy sigh from Allison. So I'm gonna let
Yeah.
Allison go first.
Woo.
Allison, what percentage of prospects remember statistics?
23.
23. Sherry,
I don't get to change my answer now, do I?
you do not. That's why you wrote it down.
5.
The answer is 5%. Team USA will take home the trophy.
Yes.
USA.
They-
Well done.
But we have one more question. And if the UK gets this, it'll be a 1-point victory. That last question is Elaine versus Samantha. Are you ladies ready?
Ready.
So Sam.
The quality of sales training is very important. What percentage of sales reps claim that their sales training was ineffective? We know training is important. What percentage of sales reps think their training basically sucked? That's a technical term, sucked. You can look it up.
Basically suck.
Yep. Okay. Samantha's still writing. Elaine looks like she's still writing too, I think, or she's confident. No, here we go. Okay, we're ready? Samantha, Miss McKenna, what percentage of sales reps think their training is ineffective?
I just drew a picture since it doesn't count. Just kidding. 70%.
70%. Elaine, what's your answer?
60%.
The answer is 26. The UK gets that point.
Wow.
And what we have is a 1-point margin, Team USA versus Team UK. I think I can say that Barb Gimanco would have loved today. So reminder, check out Barb and all she's about. Ladies, thank you so much for participating. I applaud you for taking time out of your day today. Audience, I hope you had as much fun as we had doing this. The content, as always, blows my mind. These ladies are incredible. Here's what's going to happen next. Step number 1, you friends, you are going to follow all of these ladies right now on LinkedIn because we know social selling is so important, right? We just heard that. That's the first thing you're all going to do. If you don't, I'm going to slap you. I will send you their deets via email in case you don't know how to look them up. You don't know how to spell the name. I'll send it to you, not to worry. Next, we are going to caption this and edit it all up and make it available to every single person who registered. You will get an email sent to you and you'll have a link to watch it. It'll then be put on the VanillaSoft website. Panelists, ladies, I will send every single one of you the raw files if you want to, the edited files if you want to. Life will be great. I can tell you, transcribing an event like this is hell. It took us a week and a half with the men because we have 12 people, so it will take longer than normal, but we will do it. We'll also caption the events. That'd be great. And then we're going to turn this whole conversation into an ebook. The men's ebook is in layout right now. It'll be coming out shortly. Again, I'll make that available to everybody who registered, and all you ladies will get it too. I've read the men's version of the ebook. It is incredible. I know this is going to be equal. I've had a blast. We now have a 2-0 record for Team USA versus Team UK, but ladies, you dominated far more successfully on the UK side than the men did. Take pride.
Great
You
job.
are the winners on the UK. So you represent it. If there's no more questions, we're done, folks. I appreciate your time today. I'm glad you joined us. I hope you had fun. Share the recording when we send it to you with your colleagues. Incredible stuff here. Have a great day. We shall talk to you.
Thank you,
soon.
Daryl.
Everybody, good job, everyone.
Well done, guys.
Congratulations, everybody.
Bye, guys.